So I'm gonna see if I could. While I'm waiting on some people to come in, I'm gonna see if I can share this over to Facebook. I'm gonna invite a few people from the Instagram side first. Man, that didn't work. Said I failed to send, so let's see. What's the plan B? Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm over here experimenting, y'all, while I'm waiting on some people to come in, because we about to get into the grand deception. We gotta go and we gotta bust this Scottish Rite bullshit upside the head. And the Scottish Rite bullshit ties directly to the Moorish imposters. So, gonna get to that in 1 minute. I'm just trying to see. No, there's no way I can do that from here. Okay. So, yesterday I put up some posts about George Washington, about Albert Pike, Morals and Dogma, with pictures. And I'm about to tell y'all, the great deception comes in because the picture that we've been being given of George Washington is actually a picture of Albert Pike with no beard. Now, it's the same with the Mona Lisa and Leonardo da Vinci. Mona Lisa is Leonardo da Vinci without a beard. Here they go with this cross-dressing shit. I hate to have to deal with that bullshit. But anyway, in the post, I also put up military deception as being an intricate part of warfare. And I was going to pull it up on my other phone, but I'm just going to talk. So you can go back when you get out of here and look at the posts I put up last night. You're going to see pictures of Albert Pike with a beard, right? And they said that George Washington was clean shaved, but he wore a British wig. Now, first off, the real George Washington was born in Barbados, in the islands, and he was a mulatto. The picture don't reflect that he would be roughly my complexion or only a couple of shades lighter as the mulatto of that day. They weren't as bright as they are today because it wasn't as much European influence on the genetic pool as it is now. Most of us don't know that we got pink folks, as they call them, in our ancestry. Well, I do, but a lot of us don't. So, but George Washington was originally a mulatto. Now remember, just as I point out a couple of critical key points. John Hanson was the first president under the Continental Congress who was from Barbados. Now, when you do a comparative analysis of George Washington as Albert Pike from the perspective of morals and dogma, it makes perfect fucking sense. George Washington Masonic Memorial, Washington, D.C. makes perfect sense. The whole Scottish Rite, the highest ranked Scottish Rite Freemason that it was on this land at that time was Albert Pike. Now, when I was looking at him, I noticed that the birth dates vary. Like the George Washington birth date is 1700s, and he's supposed to die before Albert Pike was born. But the problem that I found with that was that, one, if I superimpose a beard onto George Washington, he looks uncannily like Albert Pike. And I was like, well, what the hell? Why is this? So they say George Washington is the first president of the United States. And I'm like, this ain't making no sense. This not adding up. Continental Congress, 13 years, it's 8 years, 13 heads of state during the transitional phase from Continental Congress to United States corporate constitution, right? Or the constitution that's written in the blood of Crispus Attucks, that's in the George Washington Masonic Memorial or the state capitol building, one of them buildings. But I noticed that they have actual black and white photographs of Albert Pike. And they have black and white photos of some of the people that's supposed to be contemporary with George Washington, but they don't have any black and white photographs, actual photographs of George Washington. That caught me his eye. So I went back to Morals and Dogma. What is it? What is the play or the layout of Morals and Dogma as far as the Masonic Lodge taking over, right? The Morals and Dogma gives the layout of how they were going to conquer the people here using the Masonic Lodge, Scottish Rite. Morals and Dogma is the blueprint for them to take over our shit. Now, you seen there was if you go to my post, you see a quote by George Washington about taking the Fezes from the Moors. Then if you scroll way back down, you'll see that I have a post with the turkeys for Thanksgiving. And it said, are you sure you know what Thanksgiving is really about? Our ancestors, the turkey was a sacred bird that didn't fly. Turkeys fly until they get obese. Then they can't fly like a chicken. Right? And the only ones that get to the obesity level that they can't fly is the ones that's domesticated. Domesticated turkeys are overfed on purpose so they'd be easier to harvest around the celebratory season. And we used to tie strings to their feet and feed them just because they'll sit there and eat like a chicken all day long. Until he's so big he can't fly, then we can take the string off his ankle. The same principle is putting a baby elephant on a 2-ton chain that he can't break, but when he get to be an elephant, he put him on a 25-cent rope and he refused to break it. It's the same psychology, right? And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, in this quote from George Washington, something is missing. Why would the Moors be confused at who they are because they're not wearing the fez? That don't make sense. And then it got an obvious break in the continuity in the statement. And then I was able to piece together what was missing. What was missing is the challenge of the Scottish Rite to the York Rite. So this is the War of the Roses, the Yorks versus the Hampshires, right? So it's the War of the Roses. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys. It's the same shit. The Hatfields and McCoy fought so long that they end up being the same goddamn family in the end. The kids start marrying each other. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these stories and I'm like, wait a minute, this motherfucker is lying, right? This motherfucker making this shit up. So I go back to the George Washington Memorial and I see that George Washington said the message is in the capstone, right? And the capstone that he's talking about is the keystone, and the keystone has the key in it, and the key opens the vault And the vault holds the secret. The vault is morals and dogma. So it's the challenge of those who were the moral and upright versus the ones who were heavily into the dogmatic religious pursuit. This is why they religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all work together hand in hand for what we call Etruscan Moorish conquest of the world. But they ran into a problem over here with these feather-wearing motherfuckers and these moccasin sandal-wearing motherfuckers. So I couldn't understand why they saying these Moors from Europe wore sandals when I know that wasn't the type of footwear that Moors wore in Europe. So I said, well, let me look at where did these motherfuckers go when they got kicked out of Europe? And then they said they sent them to the Maghreb. The Maghreb is Northwest Africa. Now, the so-called modern-day dirty Moors try to tell us that this is Northwest Africa. This ain't never been Northwest Africa in the history of the word Africa. It ain't never been called that. They can't pull up no ancient maps where they call this motherfucker Northwest Africa unless they paint it theyself. They got to paint it theyself and tell you it's old, but they can't do that. So when I'm putting these pieces of the puzzle together, I'm like, they not mentioning nothing about feathers in here. Because we had something called the war bonnet for the chiefs. The chiefs with the feathers around their head. I'm thinking Quetzalcoatl. I'm thinking Tupac Amaru. I'm thinking Chief Sitting Bull. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Jacob undermined the red man, Esau, the ruddy red man. But that's what they described us as when they came over here. And Jacob do mean to undermine and to supplant. But Jacob is Yakub, and Yakub grafted a devil. And he grafted a devil through a breeding program. Go back to Europe. Let's go back to Europe for a minute. So they came in at Mount Sinai, Enlil and his children. And as they moved across the land, they end up establishing the Ottoman Empire. And there's something in the Ottoman Empire about the way they govern. The word Bey and the word day and the word, these are Ottoman titles of leadership and rulership, right? So the word Bey means governor. The word chief means governor. Some real fishy here. So the Byzantine kings arose from the Ottomans' invasion into the Roman Empire, and then some kind of way they became the same empire. But you don't see that. Watch me show you. In Morals and Dogma, the Christians had to fight the Muslims in order for the Jews to take control. And the Jews are the Jacobins, and the Jacobins is Yakub's people, and Yakub's people are Zionist Moors. This Jacob is the son of Enlil. And he's stealing birthrights because his mama teaching him how to be a thief. Now you got people running around, our people, the feather-wearing motherfuckers now, but they dress like they in ancient motherfucking Middle East with some purple and gold shit on, and they call themselves Israelites or Hebrews. But ain't none of that shit in none of our oral legacy. None of that shit ain't coming up before 1492 on these shores. Right? So now they trying to trick us. Now remember, you got to go back to Sun Tzu. All war is predicated upon deception. And Machiavelli said that in order to deceive your enemies, you have to be able to first deceive your friends. Because if you can't deceive those closest from you, you can forget about deceiving those that's distant from you. But if you can fool the motherfuckers that's the closest to you, right? If you can make a motherfucker think that Tupac did, you can trick a motherfucker into anything. But what do it say about the niggas that don't fall for the motherfucking banana in the tailpipe? The okie doke. Right? I'm reading the land. The land say this motherfucker ain't gone. How the fuck is this possible? He got shot in Las Vegas. They got him on camera whooping somebody. So we investigate that shit and find there's a camera on every corner in Las Vegas at the time of the so-called shoot. So why that shit ain't on? Why is all of the footage owned, right, by an entertainment corporation that's stationed in Europe, in London? Like, this just don't make no fucking sense until you realize that no matter what's going on with the Tupac situation, it's telling the rest of the chiefs what's going on, because all of the law books on the land is copyright in Europe. Comparative analysis. One thing reflects another thing. On a tit for tat, knock to a knockback, 360 around the board, the story tells itself. You don't have to tell it. But you got to point it out. So I'm watching the morals and dogma play out, and the dogma is the religious controversy that Noble Drew Ali warned me about. Right? Because when you read the religious controversy, you realize that shit don't got nothing to do with us. They brought that shit over here. We didn't do religion before Europe came. That shit don't got nothing to do with us. And we fell for it. Jesus, Muhammad, all of them motherfuckers didn't have nothing to do with us. But it was all stolen from our legacy. It's a difference in dogma versus spirituality. It's a difference in selling a motherfucker a dream that ain't gonna never fucking come true than it is for telling them how to get free. Right? The codes are all in that book they call the Bible, but the Bible was never meant for mass dissemination. The Bible was originally meant to be read with the priests among the Catholics who was enforcing the contract, because these priests were what you call land barons. And the land barons is the landlords. And the lords over the land supposed to be these vice lords out of Chicago off the west side. Right? And they supposed to initiate a Black Peakstone Ranger to traverse the land to make sure ain't no imposters on the land. And that jurisdiction goes to Malik Angel Bay. And all of this shit supposed to be sold together, wrapped up in a motherfucking package, and told to the people by the chairman of the board, who is the spokesperson for the collective of the chieftains, and they call him Larry Hoover. But why my people don't know this? This is where I'm fucked up at. Why we don't know this shit? It's in our face. They tell it to us in the movies. The rap artists tell it to you in the songs. The motherfucking blues singers was telling you back then. Right? The jazz singers was telling you about the strange fruit. What's strange about that shit? They was all chiefs. Every chief ain't a man. They only kill strategically to keep us from ever realizing who we was. Because when the chief's on the land, it does something to the soul of the people. And when it does something to the soul of the people, motherfuckers start moving and they don't know what they doing. Some of them lash out at the chief for being the chief. Motherfucker, where you been? We been needing you for 200 years, 1,000 years. Why the fuck you just getting here? I'm gonna bust you upside your head for being late. Well, Johnny might come lately, but Johnny got to assess the terrain. He got to read the layout. In Art of War, it say, know your enemy, know yourself. Victory is assured. It also say in the Art of War, Go not into war without assessment of the terrain, because you need to know if you're going to take the high ground or the low ground. You're going to need to know if they're coming through the ravine or over the hills or through the valleys. If you don't know the terrain, you are at a distinct disadvantage. That's Art of War Basics 101. So when I'm traversing across the land and I'm meeting all of the people on the land and putting in my work, it's a witness everywhere I've been, because that's how we roll over here. Our culture is here, but it's somebody else's culture that don't belong laying on top of our shit. Right? Just giving gang, unity, God. So, how do I get this across to our people that these motherfuckers look like us, but they ain't us? I'm going to tell you how to know them. And some of your favorite activists was on their side and we didn't even know it. So their job was that at the end, if we don't know who we are, they were supposed to send us into a blind rage against their smoke and mirrors, cat's paws, or what we call pale skinned Europeans. And they was going to be the ones telling us to kill him and shed his blood, because that's what they do everywhere they go. You are not my father, you are your father, a thief. He was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Remember that? They talking about Enlil. Go back to the Old Testament and look at the dirt he was doing. So they already telling us that they own some bullshit. Right? But we not seeing who they are. So they trying to steer our perception using racism, sexism, classism, miseducation, right, and media to mislead us down the wrong path on purpose. Sooner or later, one of these chiefs gonna have to tell y'all what's going on the land. It's time to give y'all what we call the gorilla knock for Larry Hoover, right? Which is the hardest knock it is. That means everybody knocking. Now, I can't tell y'all what to do. We already did a cyber parade. We fucked up their algorithms. That's why they pretending to go to war in the Middle East using footage out of wars why they pretending to go to war in Europe while they using the footage from the wars from the Middle East. But we ain't paying that. We not watching that. We not that perceptive. We don't see that the news, mainstream media, is using old Slobodan Milosevic footage to tell us that it's a war. We not seeing that they making whole fucking movie sets. The windows ain't even broke, but the car's flipped over. Those little subtleties we don't catch. My job is to catch that shit and point it out. So I got to figure out, because now I done did everything I could to let y'all know was how to get the imposters off the land. They know who the chiefs is. When we start calling relentlessly for the chiefs, then these motherfuckers gonna crumble. But in the meantime, it's in slow roll motion. That means that it's a tall building falling. It look like it's falling slow until that motherfucker hit you or you try to escape it. Right? We looking at this shit play out. All these motherfucking puppet masters behind the scenes. But we not seeing what they telling us, because we watching the distraction of the mainstream media, but the citizen news is still reporting this shit. Trump's still telling you he the president. He's still telling you that it was a fraud in place. He's still telling you they got caught. We got at least 3 states to decertify the election, right? Which is enough to do a full-fledged investigation, but the investigation was already a carryover from the Obamas and the Bushes. And Obama was George Herbert Walker Bush's favorite little African, his favorite little jungle bunny, right? And he was the leader of the Illuminati on our side of the water from North and South America, Central America. It was his brainchild to make one currency called the Amero. Look it up, right? They wanted to do a NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, right? That's so that they can consolidate this whole region under George Herbert Walker Bush, and he got caught, and that's why on the note that he left, he said they know everything, motherfucker, because we don't need pen and paper to tell the message and to get the message from the other chiefs. We all know what's going on the land. Spook by the door, motherfuckers. He gonna tell us what everything y'all got going on the inside. The spook by the door feeding that information to the chiefs on the land. You think Geronimo Pratt was just named Geronimo because it sound cool? Geronimo researched y'all shit from asshole to appetite. You should have never put him in there and motherfucker let him on the inside, stupid motherfuckers. You don't never give a strategist the motherfucking keys to strategy and think he just gonna lay down and take that shit. He gonna pass the message where it need to be, and it's gonna get where it gotta go when it need to be there. Right? So Asada and the BLA, they was, that's her shit. But you can't use the enemy's method to evict the enemy, because then you are playing the game by his rules. This is our rules. Each one teach one. We all gonna reach some. You can tell it how you want to tell it, but we gonna tell it how it is. These sisters, y'all got the power. It's starting to warm up. White dresses, fresh water. Call Mama Oshun. Because in order for Oshun to come in, motherfucking Ogun gonna kick this bitch clean down. When y'all start doing them freshwater rituals, 369, 3 adolescent girls pre-puberty, 6 in the mid-range, and 9 beyond menopause. 369. Activate that motherfucking energy on their ass and bust them upside their head and do it on your terms when you feel like, how you feel like doing it. Big Mama home. She waiting on y'all to wake up and realize that she home. But ain't nobody knocking on her door. So you got everybody, all Big Brother and them just sitting there waiting. They can't do nothing till y'all activate the motherfucking role. Y'all got to call them. The motherfuckers relentless on this free Larry Hoover shit. And free Larry Hoover mean free Chief Malik Angel Bay. And free Larry Hoover mean free all political prisoners. Free Larry Hoover mean free Malachi York. Free Larry Hoover mean free Mumia. Free Larry Hoover mean bring Assata Shakur home. Free Larry Hoover mean restore the matriarchy. Free Larry Hoover mean secure the children. We got traitors in the mix. They in our community. They look like us, but they ain't us. And all you got to do is watch. Because they going to badmouth the righteous and they going to fall in the aftermath. So when they putting people's name on their lip, if they don't understand what they doing, let them suffer the motherfucking wrath. And I don't care how y'all get it. I want the smoke. But we brain banging now. So I got to enlighten y'all to some things y'all never thought to look at. And right now, it's the reality of the matter is that the painted pictures of George Washington is nothing but beardless pictures of Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike from Morals and Dogma. And also, he got a couple more what you call pseudonyms. See, that's how they get y'all, with pseudonyms, fake names, switching, take the beard on, take the hair off. Put the hair on, take the beard off. Oh, switcheroo ass motherfuckers. Flip the mirrors and they can't hide. Right? Because there's just key factors. And all this shit, if it don't match, if it don't fit, what Johnny Cochran say? If it don't fit, you must acquit. This is why they keep this George Washington Memorial in the forefront of the people's mind, because it's something there. It's something there. What is it? It's the flag. It's our flag. That fucking 5-pointed flag, star flag from the Moorish Science Temple is not the real flag. The facsimile of the flag, the United Nubian Nations got that motherfucker. So if anybody know a young elder, tell him Malachi say, roll out the lecture on the flag. That's what he need to do for Pops. Baba Yanun say, roll out the lecture on the flag so they can understand that they stole our flag and gave us a false flag attack on a series of false flag attacks. They could never honor a treaty in the first place because we never signed any treaties. We've been at perpetual war. We've never been to a negotiating table, us. Or the feather wearing motherfuckers. Right? So all of this shit they doing. So we went into a conjure war with the Moors, the conquistadors, the Moorish Zionist Jews. We went to a conjure war. And during the conjure war, George Washington, Albert Pike, motherfucking Scottish Rite usurpers came in because they knew we'd have amnesia until the end. And they was trying to solidify their position using the Roman keys of Babylonian money magic and bloodletting rituals and simulated blood-sucking acts and native vampires, but we the ones that wear the wolves. And we ain't never had no motherfucking peace. Right? So, this is the Ukrainian flag is to point your ass to the Barbados flag where George Washington from. And once you realize that George Washington was a mulatto from Barbados and he was of olive tone brown hue, that he could not possibly be this pale motherfucker they painting telling us is George Washington. And the George Washington from Barbados last name wasn't Washington but Wachita. Right? And he was one of the Yamasee mound builders, and then they didn't replace him as John Hanson. That's where the trick came in. Because the fake John Hanson picture, the pale guy, is another rendition of an Albert Pike face-off, where he took his face off, shave his beard at a different age. They fucking tricked the shit out of us, y'all. They tricked us so good that we arguing among ourselves that we the same motherfuckers that came over here and invaded us when we the ones got invaded. We will bloodthirstily fight each other. We had to take their shit over just like they was trying to take ours over. They not gonna never win that conjure shit. This is the home of the voodoo. The Bird Clan. Hovering through. This is a motherfucking Raven production. The Blackbird. Who got the message from the Bluebird. On the knock to the knockback, on the flip to the turnaround off of tarot reading Oracle. Y'all motherfuckers. Woo, they got us good. They got us so good, I have to admire the genius of their deception and the effect that it had on our people. I can't believe they was this motherfucking good and got us fighting for everything that ain't gonna serve us. We can't get reparations because we already at home. Right? We can't get reparations because slavery never really actually happened like they told us. We didn't come on no fucking ships. So we not eligible. That's why the Japanese got it after World War II. That's why the motherfuckers in Germany gave it to the so-called Jews after World War II. We not eligible. You know what we eligible for? Season every goddamn thing from pole to pole, from prime meridian to prime meridian, 360 around this bitch. We can seize all that because we the earthborn. Anything on earth, possession is 9/10 of the law, right? And position is 9/10 of the game. So 9 over 9 mean that shit is a whole. So we in possession and position. We in position by right. That means that we fall on the right hand of the mother. These stupid motherfuckers fall on the right hand of the father. The father don't run this bitch down here. But he run this bitch for mama. Y'all didn't even catch that. The father don't run shit down here. But he run this bitch for mama. So any of y'all getting mama way have to deal with the father. And when you got to deal with the father, you not dealing with no regular motherfuckers. We the elders now. I'm the wrong nigga to put the elder title on because that's when the baby, take over the elders who failed the game. Hey, the feathers. It's Thanksgiving. You can't take nothing from us. But we can take all this shit from y'all. This our shit. But as long as we ain't understanding that this is our shit, then we subject to let you pretend to be in power just a little while longer until the people wake up. But this is a done deal. Don't ask me. Send your motherfucking channel 2, 4, and 7 news to go talk to Minister Farrakhan and ask them how long they got. He can tell you to the minute. Because the Grand Matriarch got a day to show. And before she saw, we got to see 3 kings. He married to her, the highest ranking matriarch on the land. So send him to ask, catch motherfucking Mustafa, hey, when your mama gonna take this shit back? Send your reporters from the Washington Post and the New York Times and the LA Times, from the Chicago Sun-Times and any other Times you can find, to go ask them. This shit is over with. The imposters has been crushed at their own motherfucking game. The deception has been overturned. Inside out. That shit was turned into compost. Now we finna reap the flowers. They should have never dumped shit on no farmers because we know what to do with shit. But they keep saying these country boys is dumb. We ain't dumb. We just move at a whole other frequency than you motherfuckers and we seem out of place to y'all. But we far from dumb. Right? I don't have a country draw because I'm a country boy that blew up in the city. That's how you motherfuckers missed me. That's how you missed me. Hidden in plain sight because I wasn't never running from you motherfuckers. And I wish y'all had caught me when I was gangbanging because I'd have lit this bitch up. But since we brain banging now, I'm lighting this bitch up. So what it is. These Mississippians from the Delta. No, not the Delta of the Nile in Egypt, but the Delta of the Mississippi, nigga. Flip the map. Look at that shit. It's the same motherfucking place. We just went over there to set up an observatory to watch you motherfuckers and how y'all move so we can preload our motherfucking children how to overcome this shit at the right time. And y'all motherfuckers then fucked up and they asked the wrong motherfucker to answer the question. Unravel the deception. They lied to us. They raped us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That shit hurted. The only thing hurt now is we continuously falling for this shit, and I'm telling y'all the way out. Stop participating in all of these systems so we can establish our systems unless y'all want to be part of that satanic New World Order, adrenochrome, baby sacrificing under the name of Pizzagate, all that shit. I ain't with that shit. So I got to tell y'all how it is. This how it is. These motherfuckers can't deceive us no longer because I'm going to see through it. It ain't a matter of when. If it's a matter of when. I'm going to find the motherfucker. I'm going to sniff that motherfucker out like a bloodhound motherfucker. Gone like a rabbit through the cone. Y'all know nothing about that shit. Right? They put the shit in the cartoons. Right? So we don't even know our people no more. Like, I had to tell y'all so y'all know ODB was Chief Crazy Horse. Right? I got to tell y'all Pimp C wasn't just no motherfucking rapper. The nigga was one of the motherfucking chiefs on the land, and he was what you call a moral counselor to the rest of the chiefs to make sure that we ain't doing no motherfucking shit that we ain't got no business doing. And if he catch us doing it, he got to go tell the rest of the chiefs to put this nigga in check so they can lock his ass up like Nature Boy for doing that dumb shit. Hey. Somebody had to be the moral upright motherfucker. It ain't me, because I want blood. I want blood too motherfucking bad to be the moral upright. That's Pimp C's motherfucking job. Jay Prince's job is to teach you motherfuckers the art and science of respect. He's talking to the other chiefs. This is how we do. Each one teach one. He established the greatest position just on respecting and giving and receiving respect to show you how to use that shit. Master P, No Limit Soldier, told y'all, look out for the ice cream man. Yep, I used to be the ice cream man. But what I was selling wasn't that motherfucking sticky or the icky powder. I'm going to tell you this. Master P is the business counselor out the Southwest. And Southwest is from Louisiana West. That's his job. Catch the chiefs that's trying to establish themselves and teach them the business side of the game so that the motherfucking enemy can't capitalize on them. Right? The same job in the Northeast, that's the same dad's job. All he gotta do is do his job. That's it. Y'all looking at motherfuckers, y'all so deceived you can't tell the difference between the soldiers we sent in to recover the shit and the motherfuckers that's motherfucking doing the dirt. Kevin Gates the chief. All you gotta do is listen to him. Just listen to him. He don't talk like regular street niggas, but he from the street. T.I.'s supposed to teach the other chiefs motivated hustle mentality. That's all he's supposed to do. He's supposed to teach motivated hustle mentality to the chiefs in the South. Everybody got a job. This chief not going to do that chief job if he's present to do it himself. But if the chief that's job it is not present, and all of the chiefs going to pick up a little bit to make sure we don't fall behind. Yep. Snoop the man right now. Call it how it is. Snoop the man right now. He the man. That's Big Tookie. That's Big Tookie guy. And that's Nipsey Hussle guy. Freeway Ricky Ross was set up from the word go. It's not even a secret. The government ain't even hiding it from y'all that they set up Freeway Ricky Ross, that he was buying the drugs from the motherfucking DEA the whole time and he didn't even know it. That's called entrapment. He wasn't never supposed to got a day, and he was supposed to have qualified immunity. But we don't know how to stand up for our people because we trying to follow the system that they got in front of us, and the system is all it is dogma. They don't never honor nothing that's in our benefit in the system. Why? Because sooner or later we got to realize that system has nothing to do with us. And as long as the system has nothing to do with us, guess what? It don't work for us. It can't possibly work. You can't expect something that was a outfit that was made for Shaq to fit your ass. It's not made for you. It's made for Shaq. Every now and then, somebody that's in the size bracket of Shaq might be able to look decent, but it still ain't gonna look good on that motherfucker as it do on Shaq because that's his outfit. This is their system. The system is never gonna do anything for us because it has nothing to do with us at all. Right? So, that's the main gist of what I wanted to talk about. I think I got a timer on my live, so I'm gonna let a couple people in, ask some questions, or just chop the game up. But we ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We see this shit. So I'm taking the
Right. Oh my God. I can't believe I finally got in. What's going on?
How you doing? Tell us your name, where you calling from for the people to know.
Oh, I'm from Newark. I'm straight from Newark, New Jersey. Home to
It's the side of Shakur. It's the side of Shakur knot. Come on.
Shakur.
I want you to talk about something. Go and drop it on us. I'm listening.
Nah, what you was just talking about, man. I've been getting so many downloads about this media shit, man, and people just I don't know if we need to. I know that people really understand it, but like we talking about on the mass level, social media cleanse. We really got to cleanse from social. We got to cleanse our chakra, our heart chakra, for real, because the media got us scared, and even just just going on, and it dawned on me like, we got the freedom of press. But the freedom of press is completely different from media. So I don't know if you want to talk about that and break it down, because
mainstream media is a government controlled entity. They get their information from only two places. One is called the Associated Press and one is called Reuters. Both of them was established by CIA assets.
Yep. William Cole. Go ahead.
So they're going to continuously use mainstream media as a disinformation campaign and a propaganda tool until the people realize what's being done. All we got to do is just stop all movement.
Yep.
Just stop all movements. Don't buy their gas. Don't do nothing. Stop. But we ain't going to do that because everybody worried about the almighty dollar, and that's what they was banking on, the love of money. Poverty make a motherfucker thirsty. Like abstinence makes some of them chicks at the club act funny. Too much abstinence, and she trying to leave with the first motherfucker on that she can get on his iron.
Right. Right.
So for all that poverty, the abstinence from wealth and substance. Nobody over here was ever poor till these motherfuckers came.
Right.
We didn't even have a poverty line. That didn't even exist in our reality. Now we talking about homeless people. Ain't no such thing as homeless people. Everybody, if you ain't got nowhere, go to Big Mama house. She gonna take you in and she gonna put you up.
Facts.
Everybody know what that means. Big Mama gonna take you in. She'll put you up.
She got space. She gonna make space.
She gonna make room.
Yes, room.
What Big Mama's gonna say? Oh, well, come on, baby. We gonna make do.
Yep. We're gonna make do.
Some of the babies might have to eat off the same plate, but I promise you it'll be enough for them all to be full.
Yep. Sleeping head to foot, in the same bed, on the floor, whatever. And that's just how it go, right?
Now they got us so selfish and we so traumatized from the ones that look like us busting us upside our head that we don't even trust each other no more.
Can't. That shit is wild.
It's when we trusted them motherfuckers, they raped our babies. And they still doing it. And never stopped.
Never stopped. Can you talk about right? Because I was reading Nicomachean Ethics, and it's funny because I read this book in college, and I
Let me
didn't.
see the cover of that. I don't know if I read that one.
Nicomachean Ethics. It's written by Aristotle, one of Socrates' students. You know, Plato.
Yeah, I know who Aristotle is. I don't think I
Yeah.
read that particular book though.
Okay, so this I think you might find it interesting. I was just reading it just because I picked it up 2 years ago. I was in Atlantic City and they had a bookstore and the bookstore was outside, and I was like, they just got books outside. And then when I went in, he was like, yeah, we go by the honor system because ain't nobody stealing books. I was like, yeah, that's a fact. Ain't nobody stealing no books. So, I just picked it up. But then I got back into reading it, getting some downloads or whatever, and some told me to read it. So I was reading through it, and it's really crazy because when we learned about Greek, like the Greco-Roman and all of the shit, we learned that our society, Western culture, was mimicked off of that. And I get into reading about Socrates, and we don't talk about his trial. And Socrates was a nigga. He was over there and created this ideology that people couldn't govern themselves, right? And because he had this ideology and all his students, it reminded me of what you was talking about with what's that, Helter Skelter, what's his
Charles
name?
Manson.
Charles Manson, where Charles Manson wasn't necessarily the person to say it or tell these people that they should, take over or whatever, but that's what ended up happening. And Socrates got put on trial. So I don't know if you've ever read like some books from Plato about the trial of Socrates, but they basically was saying that he promoted his students to cause an uproar and seize the entire Athens, Greece, and overturn their system. And what ended up happening was on his trial, the people was saying like, you can't do this, but they blamed him. They charged him with impiety, not believing in the gods and disrespecting the gods. It wasn't because, and people tried to say that it was because he was corrupting the minds of the youth and telling them that they needed to govern the masses because the masses can't think for themselves. And it was funny because they also said that Socrates, like his wife, he had a wife and kids, and none of them showed up, right? None of them showed up to his trial. And later in the books, it was saying that his wife was upset because Socrates was often found playing with little boys, and he was having sex with little boys that was in his group, and they fuck with him. So it was wild to me. I'm like, yo, why? How the fuck did we, like, I've heard this shit, it registered me. These are the same people that took this culture from over here and put this shit over here. And it's the same shit that they've been doing. The shit is wild. This is why
the boy lover culture, or they called it, that's Roman.
Right.
Let's get into Rome. Since we busting these motherfuckers in the Badussi, let's bust them. Rome. Okay, so the Romans. Remember, I was talking about the Ottoman Empire merging with the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Rome was established by Etruscan Moors.
Mm-hmm.
They got kicked out of the same place they got sent back to. That's why they couldn't go there before. That's why they came here.
Mm.
Now, if you remember, straight across the Pillars of Hercules from Northwest Africa is Spain. Right. You can literally stand in Spain and see Northern Africa.
See Northern Africa, facts.
And vice versa. Mm-hmm. All right, now, they got kicked out of Africa for violating the laws and the rules of Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
For causing mischief and bloodshed everywhere they went in Africa, and they was not from anywhere in Africa, right? And no place was their home. They were nomadic people. This is why Yahweh promised them a homeland, right? Mm. We gonna give you the promised land. We're the land of the promise. Bullshit, because Thoth ain't buying that shit, but we're gonna go ahead with that story. Now, Abraham's children is promised this by Yahweh in the so-called biblical story. Where in the fuck did this story come from? When you trace the story back, the Promised Land story go all the way back to Sumer in what's called the Anunnaki Wars. Where Sumer, S-U-M-E-R, the Sumerian Empire. And when you read about the Anunnaki Wars, you see that it was first settled by Eliu, and then because he lost the fight to Anu for the seat, what they call the highest seat, which is the Galactic Council male god highest seat. Right? The only seats higher than that is female, all female.
Right. That was when you was talking about he challenged it. It was like a son challenging the father. Got you.
Right.
Okay.
They was twins. They was twin brothers.
Well, yeah, you gave that example though. It was like somebody challenged.
Right. So anyway, Anu beat his ass. Eliu got ousted, and then he went to the furthest reaches of space in search of somewhere to call home. He came to Earth, and he still telepathically linked to Nibiru and the Anunnaki. He now know that they searching for something, that the presence of the people from Earth being here, a side effect produces it called gold. Just as being here, that's why they call us the golden ones.
Facts.
Right? Now, telepathically, he let them know, hey, if I can be forgiven for challenging Anu for the throne, right? I can give y'all as much gold as y'all need to repair the infrastructure on Nibiru.
This is Enlil talking.
Nope, this Eliu.
This Eliu talking. Okay.
All right. Now, this is Anu's twin brother. This is who Anu ousted for power on Nibiru.
Okay.
Right? So he's trying to offer up a peace offering. This is how they even come here. When he offer up the peace offering, Anu get clearance from the Galactic Council, but it was one problem. The rules here was different. This wasn't a restricted will universe.
Free will, right? Okay.
Right. And so they had to let them know before they came here, you can't do nothing to them unless you make known to them anything that you do. Everything is recorded. It's in our face on a regular basis because they following the rules, but we ain't.
Okay, got you. It's in our face on a regular basis. That's what they're supposed to do because they playing by the game or playing by that rule because it's a free will.
But we ain't playing by the rules because as a person with free will, you are supposed to always test to see if is this in agreement with who you are as a person. Whether it's me or anybody else talking, that's why you don't take sides.
Right.
Right? Soon as you start taking sides, you forgot how to be a god. So they got you in a series of loops of side taking all the way through your waking up. Right? And as long as you're taking sides, you will never get your God powers back because you don't know who you are. Right? So stop taking sides. Take sides with your inner self, your higher self.
Right.
Check out the receipts to see if they valid.
Right.
Right? If you see in the receipts that the receipts is valid, follow that narrative until you find new information that can take you to a higher level to see the problem even higher.
Right. And that's why I'm telling everybody that I know, you have to do a cleanse. You have to, even if you gotta get on your social media because it's hard for some people. They wake up, the first thing they grab is their phone. Even if you have to, don't comment on nothing, don't like nothing, don't nothing. If you gotta look for information, okay, but and I'm gonna do a whole live. I'm trying to, just get back out there, whatever, with my shit. But nah, I feel you. This is taking sides is pointless, because once you understand that it's duality, you can pull from anywhere. You can get information from anything, but it really comes from what you are resonating with. You know what I mean?
Right. So when you get the information and you stop taking sides, it starts patching you in like an operator on the old school switchboard into the Akashic records. Because if you don't believe none of the shit a motherfucker tell you, you got to go find it for your own satisfaction. Your higher self gonna bring you the right answer.
The right answers, right? That shit just gonna be.
It can only. That's why they say you can't lie to yourself. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. Why they tell you that? Because they have to. That have to be common knowledge that you can't lie to yourself. Why? Because if at any point you ever wake up to the realization that your higher self can go find the answer, you send your higher self for the answer, it can only bring you the right answer, because that's the rules of the universe. You can't lie to yourself. That's one of the biggest rules. Why is that there? Because deception is a viable form of warfare. It's absolutely part of the Eternal War catalog in all the Akashic records through different creations. That's always been there. That's why our greatest war philosophers has to tell us that warfare entails great deception. So what's the best way to keep the conquered conquered? Never let them know that they was conquered.
Never let them know that they was conquered.
Always make them believe they somebody else. Right? And if they ask questions, tell them the truth, but tell them 10 lies to cover it. Winston Churchill said the truth is so valuable it must be carefully guarded by a ring of lies.
By a ring of lies. Have you ever heard of William Lutz? And he wrote a double speak. Can you talk about that? I found that that was another download that just popped up out of the clear blue sky for me.
You talking about double speak?
Double speak, yeah.
That's when. So a word in English, the English is created as a language of deception. The original English language only had about 300 words in it. And it was written by the Pygmy peoples of Africa, and they went to go teach the so-called Irish, English, and the Scottish the language. That's where they get the language from.
Got you. Okay.
So, right. So this is why they say when you do a linguistic study, all the languages trace back to Africa.
Right.
Greek, the language of Greek was written to establish the first university on the Isle of Crete for the Greece Empire. Greece was Hellenistic, meaning matriarchal at this time. When they say Hellenistic, because the goddess Helen was the matriarch of the empire. Right? So when the Romans conquered them, they put Greco in front of Roman to give the Greeks the impression that they had won the war against the Romans and that they had usurped the Roman Empire.
Right.
But it was actually the other way around.
Right, exactly.
Right, because they switched out the goddess Helen and gave the name Helen to a man in Rome, in the Pantheon.
Right.
Okay, so that's called replacing the gods or defacing the gods.
Defacing the gods, which is what, yes. Go ahead.
All right, now, this is the story of Medusa getting her head chopped off. Medusa not a name. Most of us don't know it's a title of a priestess. Medu is 10. Sa is a birth priestess, and that's coming from right from Egypt. All right. So if the Sa priestess at the 10th rank, right, that's the equivalent of us saying number 1. Because they counted in small increments. They counted from 10 to 1. We count from 1 to 10.
Right.
So the Medu, or the number 10, Sa, priestess, is the leader. Now, when she go to Egypt, and they come from all over the world for conventions, and they meet with the grandmother, what we call her Osset, right? They call the Sibyls. The Sibyls are the ladies that's the wise ones, right? Those who are Ein Sof or Sophia, right?
Right.
So these wise women formed a circle around what they call the Black Madonna, right? Who's sitting on her earth seat as the queen of heaven and earth, and she's all dressed in black because she's mimicking Big Mama. In the flip, as above, so below, all of the women that are coming to see her, all of the priestesses, you don't just got birth priestesses, you also got priestesses of Sekhmet.
Right.
Which is the cat lodges, which is totem based. You got the priestesses of the bird clans, which is Tahuti, which is also totem based. Right, so et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now she got all, and they got it all dressed in white. She's the only one allowed to wear black.
Right.
She is represented in the zodiac as Tawa Earth or Tawaret, the great hippopotamus, and is right in the ceiling. So you see in all of these stars, right? So the congregation of the stars of God is a ritual that takes place on earth when you raising the grand matriarch back to prominence.
Okay.
How do you know who the grand matriarch is?
Most of the elite, most of the following. Most of the women.
No, because you can have an imposter. Like Queen Elizabeth was a fucking imposter.
An imposter. I was just telling my son now. I was like, her husband's not a king. You know that, right? Like, he was like, no. I was like, nah, he's Prince Philip, not King Philip. He can't be a king. But okay, so
Prince Philip. Prince. As in prissy?
Prissy ass.
But look.
So yeah.
If you read the culture, the culture identifies who she is by works,
okay,
by suffrage, and by connections.
Okay.
What that means is her life work will show it, what she's been through in her life, what scrutiny she's been under, and then how many other matriarchs feel about her like they do about their own mama. Now, it ain't got nothing to do with us. We just got to read the culture to tell the women what they did, what y'all doing subconsciously, y'all don't remember.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So, now, so when you look at, she got the most matriarchs under her direct call. The further her reach, right? The further her reach, the higher her position. Not because she better than nobody, because she's not going to see herself that way.
Right.
She ain't going to never say, I'm better than you.
Right.
She ain't going to never turn her nose up at you, and she going to always do what she can to find time for the sisters that need her. Right? So she don't have a big eye, little you complex.
Facts.
Right? So now that you know that, now you got to look at what kind of spotlight has she been under? Meaning, how has she been portrayed in the public domain by the collective of the people on the land?
Is there a particular time period for measuring that? Because everybody, and I'm just asking because everybody goes through a phase in the beginning of their life where they're learning shit. You know what I mean? So are we talking about after they're committed or initiated or self-initiated, whatever?
Well,
Like,
when you look at it, it's gonna always. It's just like water turning into steam.
okay, okay,
It's just, everybody go. It's like cream rising to the top.
right,
So you might find a whole bunch. Like for instance, somebody might say it's Winnie Mandela. Well, Winnie Mandela, coming to find out, picked the same person I picked.
right, right, right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Imelda Marcos picked the same one I picked.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if all of these gotcha is picking the top, everybody of
Right.
them.
So now over here on our land, this would be one that was picked by Aretha Franklin. She was the queen of music.
Uh-huh.
Right. She would have been picked by Coretta Scott. They call her the mother of civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She would also be picked by the Christian community, by the women.
By the women. Okay.
Right. So this is her association or interpersonal connections with the wives of ministers.
Okay. Okay.
So the rule is most loved, most respected. Right? How do I hit your heartstring?
The children.
That's most loved. How do I treat you when you're in my presence? That's most respected.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now, the most loved, most respected will have the most grand matriarchs or matriarchs under her direct call.
Mm-hmm.
Matriarchs of prominence and positions of government, entertainment, or any system they establish. The ones got to have equal respect that would be classified as her enemy because they are working for a different group of people. But they still got the respect for her.
What do you mean by that? What you just said?
Okay, so it's like being on the battlefield. You got generals that respect other generals, even though they fighting each other.
And each other. Got you. Okay, cool.
So matriarchs on the other side, on the wrong side, also got to respect her.
Facts. Okay.
So now she got the enemy respect her. We respect her. Right? She got mad matriarchs across the land respect her. Now, the last ones to show respect is the men. And how do we do it? We call her out in the open. 3 kings walking. Go put her on her throne. And as soon as y'all do that, we get rid of these motherfuckers. So what do? The chiefs, that's males, that's men. Each one teach one, all do our part. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to agree with each other. As long as we do our part as best we can according to what we know and understand. The one who knows the most is required to do the most. The strongest one is required to carry the heaviest load. Right?
Giving me some down. You giving me some knockback sign, but I hear you. I hear you.
So you can't put the heaviest load on the weakest motherfucker because he's gonna crumble.
Facts.
So you got to put the heaviest load on the ones who can carry the load. So when you iron all that out, it's a clear-cut winner as the matriarch over here.
Right.
Right? It's a clear-cut winner. I know who the grand matriarch is, the Black Madonna on this land. Right? All races and creeds and colors of mothers love her. That was enough for me right there.
Me too. Me too.
But that wasn't all.
But that wasn't it. Yeah. Okay.
See? It's not just all of the mothers of each race, creed, and color across political lines. They loved her.
Across religions.
Across religion, their religion didn't interfere with them. Love her. It's only one mother of the righteous.
Right.
And if you look in Islam, they say the name of the mother of the righteous is Khadijah.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Khadijah was named Mother Khadijah by Mother Clara, the matriarch that preceded her, in the same position and rank.
Mm. Facts.
So
talked about hiving, how the women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Sybil the Sybil ceremony is the ceremony for raising the grand matriarch.
Mm-hmm.
All it is the women get together and they do exactly what they was doing in the Middle East. That's a woman's ceremony. Everybody not supposed to be there. That's why it don't work for them. The men ain't supposed to be in certain stuff, but the men had to join in order to preserve the secret so I could tell y'all where to find it at.
Got you. Okay.
Right? So the matriarch ceremonies is the entire Catholic Church. There wasn't supposed to be no male priest there. They supposed to be Buddhists. They supposed to be Shaolin. They not supposed to be where the Catholic Church is, which is actually the house of Sekhmet. Right? The house of Sekhmet that's why it's called Catholic, because they telling you it's a cataholic. The Cat Lodge. The Cat Lodge is under Sekhmet, which include the Panther Lodge, the Lynx Lodge, and all of the tribal totems that use the cat symbol around the world.
My daughter here. I appreciate this. I'm gonna let you get some other people. I'm gonna kick it with you. This is you done gave me a few things to go back to the drawing board and read through, revisit. Shout out to you, man. Free Larry Hoover. Y'all already know. Free bring Asada, hands off Asada, all of that. I appreciate you, Rod.
Yeah, thank you, sweetie, for coming in here.
All right, thank you.
This energy out for me.
Yeah, facts. You already.
All right, sweetie. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take one more caller in here. See what you want to poly about. Hey, come back here. Money Balls. You there? That didn't work out. We'll try one more. Give my boy Young Kai in here. God. Black Panther uppercut. That's what I'm talking about. I got Young Kai coming in now. What's going on with you, nephew?
What up, God?
You got it.
Peace and unity to everybody. What's up with it?
Did you understand that stuff I was talking about earlier? Albert Pike and all that?
You know, I be hearing there. I be trying to grasp as much as I can. But you get deep sometimes, so I be trying to keep up and shit. You know.
Yeah, so somebody just said free Big Meech. Y'all know I told y'all what Big Meech's job was, to teach the young princes how to handle money without that shit going to their head, making them thinking it made them better than somebody.
Facts. Yeah, free Big Meech. What's up, everybody? Peace. Out here in Cali,
Hey, look,
you know,
I'm looking in the questions. The sister said, "Peace, Brother Rod. Did you hear the inmates were released from Rahway Prison in New Jersey. That's another knockoff of New Jersey today. What you smoking on, boy?
This from the dispensary right here.
Oh, yeah.
From the dispensary.
You had any questions you want to ask? Because I can let you fall back and stay and just listen while you enjoy being high.
Yeah. I'm just listening. You know me. I'm just listening. I just was excited to get on here. Like, oh shit!
All right, I'm gonna take one more call before I cut us out.
All
right.
Peace.
Yeah. I think this is the longest one. Get some more energy in here. Hey.
Hey, and look, I can't even say it's about time because it's all about time, right?
Oh yeah.
This is good. Okay, let me see where I need to start. How you doing? Peace, God.
Okay. Tell the people your name, where you calling from.
This is Karen. I'm in Mississippi. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Biloxi Blues.
Yeah, Biloxi Blue. Look, all my family is from Mississippi Delta, Belzoni, Yazoo, Newton, Mississippi, period. Mm-hmm. So, go back to the car. Huh?
So your elders don't say they was ever slaves, do they?
Look, let me tell you something. I tell my fiance all the time. Growing up, I never heard my grandmother talk about that. All I know, my family owned a lot of land in the Delta, and I've been up there plenty of times during the summertime when I would come visit. That we were all Indian. We were sharecroppers, farmers. You know, I didn't hear about slavery until school.
They can't run that bullshit on motherfuckers in the NO, down there in Louisiana, down in Mississippi, because we know we've been there.
We've been here. You know, the whole out of Africa thing never resonated with me. I could never teach my kids that because it just didn't fit. And I've been on this path of trying to figure it out, not aggressively, but just letting it come to me by way of my dreams, because that's where I get my messages, right? So I've been trying to...
They call us dreamwalkers.
Dreamwalkers. I've been doing this all my life. But most recently, the dreams have gotten to the point where I have to tell my fiance because I don't remember anything anymore. Like I wake up and I tell it, and then I don't know it anymore. So what you were talking about the 369, the 369 women, and I started having that dream in particular in 2016. It was, I guess, 9 of us in all black. And I was in the center in the ocean. We were all in a circle. And I came out in the middle of those women. And then it paused, and then I had that dream again most recently, like a couple of weeks ago. Same dream. And then my cousin had the dream.
Let me ask you a question right quick. You said y'all was in the ocean water, salt water?
I guess it was the salt water, yeah.
Okay, because this is a direct message from Big Mama about Oya, I think it is.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Yeah, and this is twice. So just recently, the last dream, 369, it was 9 women in my cousin's dream, but they were all waiting on my arrival to make it. We weren't on the water, but they were all waiting on me, and they all same thing. They all gathered around me, and I'm still trying to figure. I want to figure it out because I know that I have a calling. I just haven't tapped into what it really is, or maybe I do know, but I'm.
By birth, you a high priestess on the land.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do.
Look, it's gonna come natural to you. If you okay, so you know when you was watching your children play and you was thinking about you looking around, making sure it wasn't nothing coming, and you was just comfortable with them, and you was in full mother mode?
Yeah.
When you get in that energy, that's what's going to teach you the rest of the way. Nobody else ain't gonna have to tell you nothing.
Well, my kids are older now. You know, the youngest is 13 and the oldest is 19.
You can still get in the energy though.
Okay.
You can still get
I
in
feel that energy when I'm around other little kids.
Right. That's that mother
okay.
energy.
Okay.
That's the feeling that you want to try to. That's why Big Mama always got somebody's baby.
Yeah.
Because she's steady operating from that energy of mother.
Okay.
She take in the girl down the street. She got her kids. She got her grandkids. She got her nieces and nephews. That's how can we all know to go back to Big Mama house. Because Big Mama done told us over generations and generations and generations, baby, if anything go wrong, you can always come back to Big Mama house. You can always come back to my dear house. You can always come back to Nana house. Right? You can always come back to Nana house. Right? So they've been telling us that for generations. We're not going to never forget that.
Right.
So when the Chiefs start putting the pieces back to the puzzle, we know that the yellow brick road can only lead to Big Mama house.
Yeah.
And we know what Big Mama house feel like before we ever get there.
Yes.
Right? So we in the back seat of the car, we going to Big Mama house, we going to Big Mama house, we gonna eat some fried chicken and cornbread at Big Mama house. We got our little songs.
Yeah.
The songs over time became full productions to tell us what's going on the land, no matter who's singing it.
Okay.
Right? So the blues come from the Mississippi Delta. Most people don't know that.
Yes, that's right.
It used to be called, when it first came up, was called the Delta Blues.
The Delta Blues, that's correct. Yeah.
Right? Every one of the old blues singers named Son was a chief.
Really? Okay.
If they had an animal attached to their name, they was a chief of that totem clan, like Howlin' Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Right? If they had a color, the color tell you which clan they from. Like Yellow Belly. That's an Oshun clan. He's a priest of Oshun singing music.
Huh. Okay.
So now it's in the culture. You can't get it out. It's like a stain on a white shirt that'll never go away.
Right.
We know how to read the pattern of the stain. Because we've seen the stain so many times that it's just automatic that we know. We ain't New Jacks. We not new here. We grew here.
And that's what it feels like. I know for me, I feel like I have been repeating this for many times, right? And now it's to the point where it's time for me to break free of from behind the scenes, from the shadow, and just come out. And I guess I was just trying to figure out the way in which to do it, because it's like I have not pressure on me, but it's pressure on me, right? Because everyone sees it in me.
It's calling. It's a calling.
It's on me, heavy.
Yeah, because the clans are reorganizing and reforming, and they're gonna form around a Big Mama, either a queen or high priestess, or both.
Just look, Rod, I had the Toad experience like 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And when I had that experience, it's like when I went under, is what I call it. All I could hear was that you're a god, and I saw this ceremony. It's like I had this whole ceremony. These little, I'd say fairies or angels, whatever you want to call them, were building this garment on me, right? And they were adorning me in all white and gold. And I I woke up saying, I am God. And it's like, where did I get that from? You know, because I always feel like, you can't be God. But it's like, and then I was told to wear all white, but I didn't do it. It's like, I didn't do what I was told to do. But it keeps circling back around like I need to do
Because
what
you're
I'm
in the
supposed to.
loop. Because you're going to be in the loop until you listen.
Didn't I say that? And that's what I said. I feel like I keep looping around.
Yeah. You stuck into it's called monkey flip. When you get to the point where you're supposed to, like say you get to a fork in the road and you don't want to go the way that the sign telling you, you start monkey flipping. You monkey flipping because you're waiting on somebody else that's coming in the same direction to point you in which direction to go.
When I already know the way to go, is that correct?
Right, you already know the way.
Yeah.
But you got to find somebody that you trust more than you trust yourself to tell you that you know the way so you can remember that you know the way. Here's what it is.
Okay. Someone that I trust more than I trust myself. Okay.
You think somebody got a higher connection to God than you?
Yeah. I'm still trying to release that religious dogma, right?
Yes.
I'm still trying to shake that, but that's what it is. It's like I don't like worthiness, right? Well, why me? I'm on this level, and there should be someone else. When in actuality, it's me.
Your physical reality won't betray your spiritual rank until you pull rank. When you pull rank, you start making shit happen.
How do you pull rank?
By accepting who you are in your God form. Big Mama is God.
Yeah.
You Big Mama on earth. What that tell you?
I'm God.
Reflection of Big Mama, as above, so below. But as long as you're running from it, God's gonna chase you. You're not gonna chase yourself. You're gonna monkey flip though. You a monkey flip.
I can't do that. I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to get on this line for
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
I'm the monkey flipping this motherfucker it is. I learn the hard way every fucking time, like Jim Croce say. But the reality of it is, I could only run from me until I got tired. And I got tired. It took a long time because I realized that everywhere I went, this motherfucker was here. And everywhere I ain't, this motherfucker ain't.
I'm 44, and it feels like I've been running for 44 plus years.
You got the message at the right time because 44 is the angel number. If you don't take on in this year your full acceptance of who you are, you check out.
And that's what I was told, that the year 44 I needed to come from under the covers. I needed to come out, and I'm almost 45, so that makes sense.
Hey, it is what it is.
What do I need to do? just take my place on the throne.
Yeah, that's deal with your family. Start with your immediate family,
and that's what I've been doing.
Have family gatherings. For every excuse, if it's a Christmas party and you don't believe in Christmas, fuck the Christmas. Just throw the party. Because everybody off work.
Yeah.
Easter, just had an Easter dinner.
And that's what we did. And they listen. When I speak, they listen. You know, I'm from a family of religious Christian folk, and they staunch Christians, but they hear everything I say. Mm-hmm.
The baddest preachers in the world. T.D. Jakes ain't shit without his wife.
Facts. That's true.
Freddie Price wasn't shit without his wife. If his wife got up and left him, it crumbled their ministry.
That's true. You're right.
Why is that? At the end of the day, we still know who the fuck we is.
Yeah.
And even if they couldn't come out and tell us who was doing the dirt because they couldn't see it clear enough, they had to tell it at the level they saw it so that we can put the pieces together. They didn't have to be 100% right. They could have been 1% right. But as long as one of the chiefs see the 1%, we can pass the message on to the other chiefs. We, Dr. Clark say, in our culture, a thing doesn't have to be true in order for it to carry the truth.
Right.
It don't have to be a true statement in order to embody the truth of an idea.
Right.
So we can use children's stories like Aesop's fables to give our children an illustration that they can understand, and it's just a fairy tale, but it don't mean that there aren't.
Yeah, I read that as a kid. I
Yeah.
had those in the childcraft books. Yeah.
Those used to be children's stories in Egypt.
Really?
Yeah, them bedtime stories. You read them to the boy and girl priests. They be 4, 5 years old. If you read Aesop's
Yeah, I had the
fables,
whole collection from a little child. My mom bought those for me, and I read them all the time.
The dumbed down version is Grimm's Tales. That's the dumbed down version of Aesop's fables. They knew they was gonna be dumbing us down. If you read Aesop's fables, it reads now like college level literature.
Now I have to go back and reread them.
And if you read Grimm's Tales, it'll read like something you teach teenagers.
Okay.
But all that shit, children's stories. They supposed to be mentally mature enough at 5 to 6 years old to begin to break down Aesop's fables.
And that's how old I was when my mom that's all I read. She read it to me every night.
Yeah, she was preloading you for your position and your mission. You had pretty good grades in school too, didn't you?
Yeah. But I didn't really like it, but I did.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, and I had good grades until I decided not to.
Yeah. And I think that's why I talk about the loop, because I was still in society trying to get this and master this, and it never worked out. So I thought. I don't think I was. It was.
You was just going over there to see what that was, to know that wasn't what you were supposed to do.
And that's what I'm realizing now. I wasn't supposed to do it.
But you still took something from the lesson that you could use with what you're supposed to do. That's
right.
Because Big Mama gonna build you up while you running from her. She's still gonna be building you up to take on your position when you turn around and realize the truth of who you is. You ain't new here, you grew here. Now you gotta do is start connecting with other Big Mamas, and that's when you really gonna take off.
That's what the 369 is?
Yep. Well, the 369 is 3 pre-puberty. Then you have 6 between puberty and menopause. And then you have 9 elder women.
So let me ask you a question. You said that I need to connect with the other Big Mamas, right? Just recently, a few days, I'm a dream walker, right? A few nights ago, I had a dream. There were probably about, did I tell you, 6 or 9 women sitting at a table. And it looked like they were playing like Bid Whiz or Pinochle, some like old school game, right? But they were all in white. That's the first dream I've ever had where everybody was in all white. And the one lady who I felt that was my granny in the dream, she wouldn't look at me directly. But I could see the faces of the other women. And I guarantee you, if I saw them in this realm, I could pick them out because the features were so unique. But my dog, present day dog, actually went under the table and was licking the lady who wouldn't look in my direction. But she had a smirk on her. She was trying to get her attention. Because she was licking her under the table, but she would never look directly at me. She was looking at an angle. But I felt that it was a connection to her. And it was about maybe 6 to 9 women at that table in the circle. And they were telling me something, but I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Yeah, so to turn around on the dream, she's not accepting you because you haven't accepted yourself yet. So she's not giving you her energy. So when you had the repeat of the dream and she gonna look directly at you, that's when you know she gonna be telling you job well done. They threw a whole fried chicken dinner party for me.
And they were all sitting at the table, and it's like they were all they were talking to me, but I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't understand what they were saying. But they were talking directly to me.
Yeah, but they was really talking in telepathy. And because you still haven't accepted who you is, you haven't turned on that mechanism yet. That's why you couldn't hear them.
So in order to turn on that mechanism, I need to just center myself with other big mamas.
Yeah, so y'all mitochondrial connected. All women are mitochondrial connected. They don't have to be the same race as you, as they call it. They don't have to be the same color as you. But they got to have similar values of family.
Okay.
You will know them because they're going to be doing the same shit you doing, trying to have dinners with their families and cook for the grandkids and shit like that.
That's my mama. My mama is still here. And, that's all she wants to do.
Yep. And you're going to have what you call a scout. A scout is going to be in the royal house that would be called your handmaiden. Her job is going to be introduce you into other women that's doing what you're doing. Like, come on over here. I want you to meet Sister So-and-so from this church. I want you to meet Millie. She a Muslim, but she good people. Right? That's going to be your scout. She going to be the one who's going to put all your big mamas from your local area together through you. But she can't do it until you accept yourself. And she just going to pop up introducing you to people.
Okay.
Self-talk is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Thank
time
you.
to put this shit back together on the land.
I know it is. I know it's time.
Yeah.
And I've been racking my brain. I'm probably not aggravating my fiance, but he's been helping me through this process because we're figuring it out together.
Mm-hmm. We gotta remember, they wouldn't let us teach each other openly what I'm telling you openly right now.
Yeah.
So we had to code it. But it's easier when I could just tell you.
Yeah.
Now he know how to give you support. He can tell you when you doubting yourself.
Yeah. He does. And he does it.
Yeah.
He does it now.
But now you're more apt to do the follow-up. See, it's one thing for somebody to tell you something and for you to act on the information than it is for you. Now you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're on a journey of self-discovery for you to be the best grandmama, big mama you could be. You got to accept the reality that you got, but that just means that everything outside of you is also within inside of you. As above, so below, as within, so without. Once you understand that, then you don't take none of this shit personal. That's how you get all the way to your position. When you stop taking it personal, that means you stop taking sides. Once you stop taking sides, then that puts you in the position to see on a higher level than the average person. Your dreams become more vivid, right? You take the haze out of them. Yeah. So that's just what you do.
Okay.
You know?
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take one of the guys to take us on home. See if he he might not.
Hello.
What's going on, God body?
Oh, wow. I actually made it. That means it is my time too. How you doing, brother? I'm at work.
Can you talk?
Listen, yes, I can,
Okay.
because I just heard you talking to the goddess about the self-knowledge and self-recognition. I just wanted to speak on that as well. And peace, love, and light to you before I start.
All
And I
right.
just wanted to say,
But you get
I,
started. Tell us your name and where you calling from.
I'm from Philly. My name is Alan Belazaire. Well, I go by the name of Ligba Ezili, Voodoo, because that's my roots. Well, that's our roots. Born in Haiti, raised in Philly since I was 8 years old. Yeah, yep. So I wanted to ask you a question. Lately, I've been doing a lot of practicing, and if you pick me, it must have been my time because I've been doing a lot of rituals, and I know they record us. And the thing I was always afraid of, one of the rituals, I was listening to one of the guys on YouTube, and also I think Kalai and also another gentleman, they were talking about how you got to break free from the scaredness. So me having like visions and stuff like that when I sleep, like the other night I was sleeping, I had a vision, and what I saw was like I saw these two women, a dark skinny lady and a light skinned woman. And then while I was in my room, in my bedroom, I was talking to, I just saw one of the ladies, and then one of them, it was like she was short and light skinned, and then she had like a wedding dress on. And then the other dark skinned woman, she didn't have a wedding dress on, and they just came, walked in the room, and then both of them said they were going to marry me. And then when they said they were going to marry me, and then the light skin was like, "You're not going to marry him without me marrying him as well." And then I just didn't say nothing. I was just following them. And then before I started practicing, like I went back home in 2000 and 2001, I believe. And then I went back home to like recalibrate myself, worship the ancestors and everything like that. It's something that they do. Since you're very knowledgeable, I know you know about it. 14th of August every year, we go to where the ancestors gave us the liberation. And, they call it Wakaima. In Haitian, they call it Brakaima. So when the two ladies were there, and then I was just looking and watching, the skinny dark lady came in, and as she walked in my main room, because I have my orishas and my stuff in one of my bedrooms, and in another room, my meditation room, and in my main bedroom, that's where the two women walked in. And then when they walked in, and then before the skinny one walked in, the light skinned one with the wedding dress just jumped on the bed. Before the skinny one jumped in the bed, she just walked in, and then she looked at me. And then she walked back at me. And then she said, "You're not coming?" I just noticed. And then when I blinked, I noticed I was in the room with them. Before she got in my bed, I noticed a big spider, which is Asani, a big spider next to her, and then the dark skinned lady. And then the crazy thing is, I don't know if you see this a show called The American Gods. When I was in church, I was leaving church. The first guy I saw, the black guy that was on the boat that was telling the slaves, like, "Y'all want to be free,
Nancy.
yet y'all don't believe in yourself." Yeah, him, that guy. And then when he saw that, I noticed I started seeing a lot of spiders around me. So I started doing rituals with the spiders, because they say you have orishas that walk with you, and then some of them or walk with you since you were born, and some of them you have to pick or choose which one you want to work with.
Yeah.
And then the lady, and I noticed the lady looked at the spider, and then the spider jumped on the lady's shoulder, on her left shoulder. And then she looked at the spider, she looked at me, and then while she looked at me, the spider just jumped at me. And then while the spider jumped at me, I woke up. And then since then, I'm like, I wanted to know what that dream was, since I know you decode these type of things. So
Well,
I
let me
wanted
tell
to know.
you, your job is to tie two clans together. There's two
um,
clans in your blood. One of them, Nancy, is from the Anasazi tribe, and they use the spider as their totem. They use all kind of spiders. All spiders is under their totem system.
okay.
All right. The the one who he jumped on her shoulder, that's her clan.
Mm,
The other one is from a different clan. That's why they was dressed different.
mm.
And it's not uncommon for the Loa who you are represented by to have two, to tie two clans together.
Okay. Can I ask you another question, or can I make a comment, a
Yep.
statement? All right. So because I grew up in church for 32 years of my life. I'm 35. Grew up in church for 32 years. Left church like about since 2018, and then when I left church, and then I started like practicing voodoo more, and I really started getting back in my culture, and I noticed Dumbala, which was a snake in my culture and my family roots. They said that it's a, it's which spirits that walks with you, whatever. So the first thought when I first started waking up, a snake came and wrapped its body around me and squeezed me like it was gonna choke me. And then while it squeezed me, all I had was a whole bunch of cerumen coming out of my ear. And then the thing is, when I started looking at the laws, let me show you my book that I have, which is my ritual book. Since everything's exposed, there's nothing for us to be afraid of, right, brother? Because you're the elder. You give us the protection, and you give us the knowledge, and we just go do the homework. And if you can see, this is my book, and this is my Orisha. I don't know, for some reason, out of all the laws, this is the Sijas, which is Legba.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that keeps coming on to me, and it was so easy for me to make.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, the thing about our culture, well, in the Haitian culture, they said that I cannot accept him or accept to work with him unless, like you said, unless the other clans from like my mother's side and my father's side, unless I go talk to them and see if it's okay with them to like give me the passage to have that kind of energy, to work with that energy.
So that ties back into your dream. The
Hmm.
tying
So,
together of the clans can be your mother line and father line. Remember, I told you the clans is in you already. So that makes
yes,
perfect sense to what your understanding of your lower is. Just follow what you know.
I'm just doing what my heart tells me to do.
That's what you do.
So
You
like
you
like
already on the right. So you already on the path. You
okay,
already on track. Keep doing what
okay.
you're doing, and just pay attention to the changes and the types of changes to let you know how to calibrate.
That's what I wanted to ask you, right? You know how we do meditation and also with yoga. And then like over the weekend, like lately I've been doing fasting, like I've been doing 11-day fasting. Like once a month I do maybe 3 to 11 days clean out my body. And then the other day I was doing I did a fast, and then as I was doing a fast and I did some shrooms, or should I say ayahuasca. And then when I did the ayahuasca, after I did it, today it finally subsided. I was having like this headache. It wasn't really this massive headache. It was like my throat, my palate was like hurting. So these are the type of signs I'm starting to pay attention to. So I don't know if it was my kundalini that was rising, or if it's like, my third eye that's decalcifying, because I've been drinking a lot of pine tea, because pine tree, I know is good for the pine cone, right? It's a pine cone, so it's good for your
Pineal.
pineal gland. So yes, and because of Brother Lifeway, because I follow all of my brothers, so I kind of got that knowledge, and then since then I've been doing the tea, and then I've been like mixing teas and everything like that. So I wanted to know, like, why is it that like I was having all these body aches, like,
You
and
just
how
told me.
should, okay, so then that means my mind was correct. So then my heart was
Good.
right. So
Stop
then that
second
means, okay,
guessing yourself.
there you go. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop second guessing yourself. Your Lord talking to you. That's all I can tell you. He's
Oh,
talking to you.
he
You just
did.
you gotta accept and honor that.
Why is it that when it came upon me the last time, it said, I am that I am? That was the word that was coming out of my mouth.
Because it's
The
telling you
last
to
time,
be still and know that you God.
that's all that came out of my mouth. Like
Right.
when I was,
Be still and
when,
know that you God. Look, you on
okay,
the right path.
Okay.
Right now, you working from the position of second guessing yourself, which is a part of an insecurity. Overcome that shit.
So how do I work on that more?
Believe in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, the stronger you overcome it. You're doing everything on the path. You're getting
Okay.
all of the right feedback for the lower that you mentioned, for
Hmm.
the dream that you mentioned. All of this is just telling you the right path. You're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Just don't let nobody come in trying to tell you to take a side. Take a side with your lower. He gonna keep the rest of the motherfuckers at bay, cause he don't play.
Okay.
He
Can
like to
you
fuck motherfuckers up.
yes, can you please define what do you mean by take a side? I wanted to ask you that question. I'm glad that you mentioned it. So be elaborate more
Okay,
on that for
so
me.
most people are persuaded to accept a persuasive argument that's not
Mm,
rooted in the truth.
okay,
That's dogma.
okay.
Yo, if it don't feel right in your heart, fuck that shit. But you in a unique position because you have one of the lowest talking to you.
I want to speak to him the way I'm speaking to you right now.
He
I want to
talking to you,
speak to him
just
right
ain't
now.
listening.
Mm,
He gonna smack you upside your head if he keep talking to you
then
and you keep
I'm
ignoring
trying
him.
to listen. I'm
Yeah,
not trying
but
to
when
ignore
he
him.
smack you
I'm
upside your
trying
head,
to
he gonna have your attention then because he don't
he
have
won't
as long a patience as some of the other lowers. And he want to smoke, so he don't care if you get mad at him.
no, I want to smoke myself. That's why you
Yeah,
picked me. Because this
right.
is the first time I was on Instagram, and that was one of my fears to conquer, is to get on Instagram. It's crazy. I'm the last one you picked. So
Mhm.
right then and there, this is my opening. And then I'm talking to the great one. So listen, I want the smoke. I want all the fucking smoke. So
Yeah. So
I just see the
look,
thing is I
look,
was looking for an elder to give me the right guidance, or because you got
you the fucking
motherfuckers out here.
elder.
Mm,
You the elder you've been looking
Ashe,
for.
Ashe, Ashe,
So now
Aibobo.
look, this is what you got to do now. Find out his favorite offering. Give it to yourself. Then he gonna talk to you real. Then he gonna know you ready.
Mm, his favorite offering. My mind just told me a banana and candy. I'm telling you
Look,
what's processed
just
already.
just whatever he tell you. When you
Okay,
follow the instructions, the more you listen to them, the more they will communicate with you.
that's why I
And the
wanted
clearer the
to.
communication to be. It ain't gonna be no fucking secret because you fucking with the right one now because he gonna smack you silly if you don't pay attention. You must be just like me, a hard-headed motherfucker that got to do
I
it your way.
am, I am,
Yeah, cause
I
that's
I am
yeah, all us with those warriors for lowers, yeah, we hard-headed.
with a
He
good
gonna
heart.
get your attention,
Mm,
but he got your attention. You already doing. Now you just gotta fine tune it like the radio slightly off the channel. You just gotta get the sound to come in clear.
and then that's why I need my brothers and sisters to put me in the
He's
right
gonna tell you
guidance.
everything to do.
Mm,
Give him his offering, but give it to yourself. If it's a food offering,
eat
whatever
it.
his favorite food is, make that shit
Mm, mm.
for yourself.
See, this is where I had doubted, right? When it came out, I'll message you after we leave when I get home because I'm at work, and then I'll send you the my loas my siges. The thing is, when I first started getting into my culture, or should I say my nature, and what I realized, like when I was asking other people this kind of question that I was asking you, they kept like giving me the runaround, like giving me the two sides, like you said. I guess that's probably one of the things that made me doubtful too. Because when people have been in doing something longer than you, and you think that they should have the more knowledge than you, so they
But
giving
they
you, they
might not
say,
have a
oh,
connection in yours.
because they've
See,
been because
all of us who got lowers attached to us. My big mama baptized me with the Baron, right? And the
mm,
Baron is the Ogun.
mm,
So when for we supposed to wake up to who they is, or they gonna wake us up to who they is. And when they wake us up to who they is, they gonna smack the shit out of us. I got smacked by his ass. So you doing what you supposed to be doing. Just do what I'm telling you, and he gonna come to you. And he gonna talk just like my man from American Gods.
And I've been waiting. That's the thing, because
Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
He gonna talk just like that. He gonna say, so now you want to fuck with a motherfucker, huh? You gonna talk to one of the big brothers, now you want to fuck with me, huh?
Let me tell you, when I was in school, right? Even when I was in church, that's when I was like, I stopped really going to church. Even when I was in church, when people used to mess with me, because I used to fight a lot. And then when I was young, the first thing I would resort to is like, I'm going to do some voodoo on your ass. And then after I did that, after I said it, I'm like, why is it that if I'm going to church, yet if I'm fighting a motherfucker, the first thing I say I'm going to do on their ass is voodoo? So I'm like, that never made sense to me.
Well, they be doing all the voodoo in the church, but don't tell you they doing it.
That's exactly what it is. A bunch of hypocrites. That's why I left, because I was the number one hypocrite. And another thing I wanted to add, the last thing, because I got to confess, because you're Ogun and we're talking and we're in front of the public eye. When I was younger, I said that I would never serve them when I was in church. And now that I left church, I said if I ever go and serve voodoo or do that, it's for me to dissipate on this earth, off of this earth. Now I'm asking you, do you think that my words, because words are powerful, you think my words could be some kind of blockage from back then when I was saying it? Or because of my ignorance, I didn't know any better?
Those words that you were speaking then, it was organized in your mind for what you needed to become in order to accept who you was. All of the warriors got a harder time than everybody else, though. But we don't bitch and complain about it. We just do that shit because that's what we do. We came in this bitch for a fight, nigga. Where the fight at? Right? So that's part of your fight.
Ashe.
Yeah. But all of the answers that you asking me, ask your Lord. He gonna tell you, and you ain't gonna have to ask a motherfucker nothing. He gonna send you on anything you want to know. If you don't trust what occurs to you, he gonna send a reference your way. Or send you where the reference at. Trust me, I know from experience. You got a question, he gonna tell you what the answer is. If you don't trust the answer, he gonna say, well, you don't believe me, motherfucker. Go look over here and get this book. And they gonna tell you the same thing I just told you. But the only thing you be doing, really, is a lot of our people, we can't tell nothing without the references. Because they won't believe us no more. We come from an oral tradition. Our words is more powerful than anything you can motherfucking write in a book.
Yes, because your word is bomb. This is
right.
how we used to deal with each other back then.
But we've been dealing with deceivers. So now...
And I had a dream about deceiver. I called somebody a deceiver the other night. And all I kept saying is a deceiver.
That shit. Yeah, that's character perfect. And he'll show you exactly who it is if you ask.
Who's the deceiver, huh?
Yeah, He gonna show you exactly who it is if you ask. Just follow. Feed him on the ritual on the
I've been feeding his ass.
Give him his motherfucking meal. He gonna start talking to you. He gonna tell you anything else he want. He gonna let you know. He part of who you is. So it is what it is. You just follow who you is. You're gonna be led. You straight.
Thank you. One love. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm about to get on up out of here now. I enjoyed talking to you though.
It was one love. Is it okay if I message you? And then I can message you what I okay. It will be my name on Instagram is Legba Ezili. And then Grandmaster J. All right. Thank you very much for your time. One love.
One love.
All right.
All right, y'all. I'm getting a little tired now. Now I don't want to make this too long where people don't watch the whole thing. But I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all see how we talk on the land, what we talk about, how we go over the anomalies to point out the deceptions on the enemy's ass, and how we stand in unity and we help each other where we get stuck. Each one teach one. We all gonna reach some. Free Lag Hoover is the battle cry. And this is a Black Girl Magic, Asada Shakur knot on a Ogun off of Alegba to bring this shit to a motherfucking close. So fuck they Scottish Rite, fuck they motherfucking Albert Pike, fuck they George Washington, traitor ass, switcheroo ass nigga. All them motherfuckers can go to fucking burning HE double hockey sticks if they can find that place, because I ain't been able to find it. And I done been all through the Astros and ain't found that motherfucker yet. I just wanted to see if it was eternal. Apparently it ain't. It's an illusion. Dogma. So we gonna put our morals over their dogma and bust that shit in the head and bring this shit to an end off of an Stasi can. Let these spiders sew the motherfucker together. You understand? It's like Gulliver's Travel. Yep, Black Girl Magic. I put that shit on everything I motherfucking do. That's the motherfucking little princess of voodoo. Here we go. Once again, from me to you. All right, Pete. We out. I'm going to save this live. And sometimes if I go too long, they won't let me save it. So I'm going to save this when y'all watch it. Peace to the clans across the land. Free Larry Hoover.